Before we get started, if you hear my voice kind of like, pronouncing stuff a little differently or like going high up for no reason, it's because I have a little pain going on, so that's me wincing. Hey everyone, it's Alyssa. I also go by Lyss or Alsira, whichever's okay. For this video, we're going to do something similar to a previous video I did. Not sure if any of you remember, but a few months ago, I did a video theorizing on Spiritbox's new album, Tsunami Sea. This time, we're going to be theorizing Bad Omens' new album. They've been very quiet, not as quiet as another band, but we're not talking about them. I will be exploring the new songs in this era so far, as well as lyrics and themes and other media. And then we'll get into some theories for the new album. Disclaimers. This video is solely based on speculation and opinion. Do not take anything here as fact, unless otherwise stated, then it was verified already. I am not an expert on music, nor am I an expert on the lore of the band. My comments are open to discussion, but be respectful. If I see any unnecessary name-calling or bashing, I will delete them. We are respectful, not assholes. This video will not be as up to date as I would like it to be, but things happen. A little intro about me. Like I said, I'm Alyssa. I live in New York. I have a bachelor's in English and a master's in creative writing. I have self-published 2 books, Kaleidoscope and Death Rows. Both are available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. I am also working on my debut novel, which I have explained in my previous video. A little intro on the band. Started in Virginia. Bad Omens is a metalcore band consisting of Noah Sebastian, the lead vocalist, Joachim Jolly Carlson, lead guitar and backup vocals, Nicholas Rofilo, bass guitar, and Nick Folio, drums. There was a former member named Vincent, but he left the band due to an injury. So far, the band has released 3 albums, along with a soundtrack/remix album. The first 2 albums were considered metalcore, which sort of cemented their place in the metalcore scene. However, the 3rd and 4th music projects sort of blended the genres. Nonetheless, they are very well known in the metalcore scene. Now, since their remix album, Concrete Jungle, back in 2024, Bad Omens has been very quiet on new music. Trust me, we have been very patient, but sometimes the patience wears thin. Nothing we can do about it other than letting the band cook. Then last month, the band wipes out their social media posts. This is something bands and artists usually do to signify a new era, so of course we're excited. What we don't know is the direction this band is going in. Spectre. After they archived much of their social media posts, a few short films started appearing, starring Ryan Hurst from Sons of Anarchy, and a young boy in a ghost costume. Let me say this little boy is one of the best child actors I've ever seen. Aside from that, the short film series were teasing the first single of the era, Spectre, which is another name for a ghost. At the time, we had no idea how the song would sound. Then it released, and my god was it hauntingly beautiful. You could feel the emotion in Noah's voice, and in the production itself. I believe that the song Concrete Jungle and his music video inspired the visuals for Spectre because they have a similar concept, a montage of chaos coupled with sensual subject, the little boy and the Reaper, I guess, and the door, but we'll get into that later. The short film shows the little boy in a ghost costume, and that represents detaching yourself from traumatic events. I have childhood trauma, so I know what that's like. Again, I'm not an expert on psychology, I'm just speaking from experience. You're seeing yourself from a third person's perspective, and your brain tends to manipulate memories. It's a defense mechanism. I'm not an expert on this, like I said. Back to the song. We're going to break down the lyrics a little bit. I'll focus on the chorus later. Let's do the verses first. First verse. The speaker cannot leave, yet cannot stay in a certain place. The place could be a point of where things could change forever, a place where the speaker constantly goes back to. A place that they avoided because it holds so much memories. This is a place that haunts them. An illusion, skipping frames. Remember when I said about the brain manipulating memories? I like to believe this was this line is talking about. An illusion, disbelief. This doesn't feel real at all. Skipping frames, the brain's mechanism. Too much information all at once. Information that you don't want to believe or your body can't handle. It damages the psyche. Years of living with a cold and empty space, and it haunts me every time I think I'm safe. There's a void that the speaker has been trying to fill, and it could be very lonely living with trauma or with traumatic memories. The speaker also loses a sense of security and reality because the past comes back to haunt them, and they just can't. Something just isn't letting go of them. Maybe they're not letting go of it. This whole verse is a great way of conveying the loneliness and setting up the scene of the song's subject, a specter. Second verse. Frenzy, an ocean overflowed. There's been a lot of ocean metaphors these past few years. It's chaotic, overwhelming, suffocating. We're not strangers to the metaphor of water. This must all be just an accident at most. Slight symmetry with the first verse, not a new thing in lyrics. Poetry has a lot of patterns, and I love the way we're using it here. An accident? It couldn't be intentional, no fault at all. The speaker doesn't want to believe they had any responsibility in what happened. Listen, it could be an accident, but we don't know what happened, and it's up to the speaker to know that. I'll get more into that later on. I'm changing, and I feel more like a ghost, a specter in the headlights. Love the title drop. It's more confirmation of the speaker's detachment and the haunting feeling of loneliness. And when I say loneliness, I'm not talking about never finding a partner or never finding love, never finding romantic love or anything. I'm talking about no feeling at all and just being afraid of having emotion or feeling anything. The speaker acknowledges their change, and my guess is that they feel like they're a ghost to the real world they're living in, forever attached to the memory. It's sad. A specter in the headlights, kind of like a deer in the headlights, you just stay there. Fight or flight mode. Third verse / bridge. Repetition, just as important as the chorus. Something you're missing made you who you were. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Your past helped shape who you are. But if you were missing something, then you make up for it. There are examples of this, like being a people pleaser, peacemaker, a very cold person, someone who's mean. Whatever it was, there was something that we were missing that we had to make up for it. Because I've kept my distance, it just made it worse. From these two lines, it seems like the speaker acknowledges not only what made them change, but the changes in others. It's like the speaker is giving advice to you, the listener. This bridge is brilliant in not only conveying the message, but a progression in the storyline, a maturation. And it follows beautifully with the final line of the bridge. But I've learned to live with the way it hurts. Not everyone gets to live the life they want. They live the life they're dealt with, and yes, it hurts. It hurts to feel, it hurts to love, everything hurts. Chorus. I hold back on the chorus because this is the main focus of the song. Everyone remembers the chorus. Okay, well not everyone, but it's a chorus for a reason. Do you feel love? I know I don't. It feels confessional in a way. The speaker admits that they don't feel love but no one to hold. It's loneliness. It's dealing with the past. The events that change your life forever. You're stuck in the past while life continues on. The people you will never meet again. The people you push away because to you, nobody understands what you're going through. Do you feel low when you're alone? Could it be any more clearer? It's isolating. Probably one of the saddest songs they've ever written, but we're not done yet. Music video. Besides having degrees in English and creative writing, I also have a minor in film and video studies. Just took a few courses so it could help me with visualization. I'll only pick apart a few things from this video, one of which is a major motif. Like the Concrete Jungle music video, we have montage of chaotic scenes, war, crime at home, crime on the streets, unruly youth. Then we have a few cinematic storylines, car with headlights on, guy with a shotgun. Fire is in the distance. Then we have the Reaper. I'm assuming this is the Reaper. The little boy, a clothed figure in a wheelchair. I saw a theory that this may be a connection to Just Pretend. Still a theory. Then there's this guy. Are we going Kafka or Lyss Spectre? No pun intended. There's a lot of visuals in this video. Let's focus on a few. The Reaper-looking figure represents, of course, death. Let's think of it more as a transition from this time loop that you're in to a reality more forgiving. From a chaotic war zone to a less chaotic environment. The little boy represents innocence as the symbolism of children go. Children represents a lot of things, as most symbols do, but this is my opinion. We see several people, including a weird-looking man and someone bathing in the stream. We don't know how these people got this way, but they are people who deserve to speak with their own voice. The person bathing in the stream holds up a shadowy orb, and I thought this was interesting. Maybe it was ritualistic magic, or maybe something they had within them that they were outcast. Who knows?
Who knows?
Second chorus rolls through and we finally see the band, some diegetic moments. That means the music is in the scene with us, and not just in the background playing for effect. We are interacting with the music. We see the ghost wander into the room where the band is playing. I'm going to treat Noah as a character here as well. He is the speaker, and here he is alone with the ghost, creating a personal tie with the piece. Remember when I said we don't know what event the speaker was haunted by? Well, I think that's the magic about it. We don't have to know what events caused all this, and the vagueness allows us to insert ourselves in this equation, allowing us to explore our own past and the memories our brains won't let us face on our own. We can run as far away as we can, but we gotta face our reality at one point or another. This is the speaker facing his own past, just like it is every other person facing their own past. I mentioned a motif. I'm going to leave that for a little closer to the end, because we got one more song. Unless Bad Omens decides to release a song, there's this video's production. Impose. Same routine as before, verses first, chorus, music video last. When this song was being teased, a video was posted to the band's Instagram, featuring a woman speaking Slovenian. According to the translation, she speaks about dreaming without the person she loves, or running away without the person she loves, and if that makes her a bad person. Lo and behold, the very song talks about that. Who knew?
White? Who knows? Well, actually, Larry does. He's the one who keeps changing his mind.
Who's Larry?
God.
Excuse me?
Larry is God's first name.
Before I go to the first verse, just want to stick a little point about Slovenia. I'm not sure if what the connection Slovenia has to the album itself. Maybe just a location they picked. It could be just like a separate thing, but who knows. First verse, I'm losing my leverage. All of the evidence that I'm not just a fraud. I sense some ambivalence, confusion here. Lack of self-belief. Too deep in my head again, won't let anybody in, no matter how hard they knock. Similar to Spectre, self-isolation. Feel like nobody understands what you're going through, and you're too stubborn to let anyone in. This song has a pre-chorus solo joined out with the chorus talk. Not letting anybody in, maybe even your partner, that damages a relationship, and it challenges to both of you on how well you trust each other. Second verse, I tried to settle in life irrelevance, but I long to be lost. At least the speaker is trying, but maybe whatever they're going through is too much for them to handle a double life. It's very difficult. This line reminds me of that movie I Saw the TV Glow. That was more of a trans allegory. So the plot of the movie is that a teenager named Owen falls in love with a TV show. It's kind of like similar to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I think. That sort of concept, but anyways, later on you find out the real connection between the main character and that TV show, and he has to make a choice whether he wants to continue living this life or take on his new life, his destined life, so to speak. I mean, they never use the word destiny, but it's pretty much like the choice is his to make. And it's like the Matrix, you know, you have to take either the red pill or the blue pill. And you just gotta see the movie to find out. And I tried to sever it, walk to the precipice, to the sound of applause. A precipice is a cliff, so my guess is trying to end her own life, or maybe kill what's killing them. To the sound of applause, I don't really know what to make of that. Maybe it's when you finally emerge from your room in weeks or months and people are cheering you on, but you're not up for that. That's the closest I'm getting. I'm comparing this to Plague, a poem I wrote about chronic illness, and a struggle to keep yourself healthy. I'll get into more detail about that in a different video. Another theory that I'm thinking of is maybe the speaker is like put off by happiness and just doesn't feel like they deserve that happiness. The reason why I brought up my poem is so I can try to understand where the speaker is coming from. They may not be the same situations, but the feeling is similar. The song doesn't have much of a bridge, so I'll get into the pre-chorus and chorus. Pre-chorus first. And their echoes sit alone in a prison made of bone. Haunting image. When we hear a prison made of bone, what are we thinking? Graveyard. Elephant Graveyard from Lion King? I'm thinking of a skeleton, being hollow and empty as it is, since the host doesn't want to be in that body anymore, because that would mean living in a reality haunted by their memories. Their echoes could refer to memories and thoughts ricocheting off the bones. Everything is trapped inside the body and it takes a toll. In every place, I'm on my toes, and still I feel like I impose. Walking on eggshells, being very careful, trying to be normal, but the speaker still feels unwanted, like they're invading someone's personal space. Or they're intruding when they're not. I felt like that. Kind of why I don't really hang out with people, because I feel like I force myself like I belong there. It's tiring. It's okay to let me go if you need. The speaker feels embarrassed and sad about the situation. They don't feel like themselves anymore, they feel like someone else. I mean, impose does sound like imposter. Here, the speaker offers their partner the choice to ask him to leave, instead of the speaker acting to leave anyway. Chorus. What's to say about me if I run away without you? Seems like the speaker is questioning whether they should stay or not, because they don't want to hurt their partner's feelings, but they also don't want to hurt themselves by pretending to be happy. When I fall asleep and in your head, I'm always going to stay. So the speaker dreams of leaving while the partner dreams that they stay. There's a conflict and it confuses them. What to say about me if I never change and I push everyone away on borrowed time you know I can't repay? It's very easy to think about the worst things that can happen and not focus on what's right in front of you. The speaker fears that they'll never change, they'll never get out of the depression, borrowed time, so like the end is coming. What finale are we headed for? Better not be the apocalypse. Maybe the speaker is dying or the partner is dying. That doesn't sound like it, but it would be shitty to break up with someone if they're close to dying. Then again, it's also shitty to prolong a breakup with a terminally ill person. I mean, look at Shannon Doherty. I don't know what borrowed times means, but judging from the visuals from Spectre, I can only assume that it's the end of times, or maybe it was just a past memory. We just don't know who or what. Music video. A montage of a couple meeting at a party, falling in love, then fighting, breaking up, getting together again. Very neo-noir, very trippy, similar concept to Silent Planet's Antimatter music video. Watching the video again, I didn't realize how much blue there was, especially on the central focus, which is the woman. She's wearing a blue shirt, and most of the scenes are in blue, and she's even wearing blue eyeshadow. If you're wondering why I'm harping on that particular fact, it's because blue eyeshadow on female characters are quite a pattern. Not sure if the crew is going for that, but it's a pattern. There are several interpretations for blue eyeshadows, and it depends on the media and character, but blue itself has many meanings. Blue eyeshadow, according to Google and film analyses, represented innocence and hope, most particularly with the women's liberation movement in the 60s. But nowadays it sounds more for rebellion, individuality, and sometimes tragedy. It still also stands for innocence. It depends on the way it's worn. With the woman here, she mostly wears blue eyeshadow, so due to the nature of the song, it looks like the eyeshadow represents her state of mind. She's sad. Look like she's mourning, she's crying or something. It looks like she's crying too with the sparkles and everything. Before I reach the end, I'm starting to gather a theory on the whole borrowed time lyric, and I think I know what it means. The speaker is mourning, probably her partner. She's reliving those moments with him in her mind, but at some point she has to move on, and his spirit will fade away. I think the Golden Girls can help with that. Then, at the end, she looks up and there's the door. Hovering above her, the same door from Spectre. Coincidence? I think not. Motif, or the recurring pattern. I mentioned the motif when talking about Spectre, and we accounted here again in Pose. The door represents transition. Entering a world unknown and escape from this time loop. We don't know what's in the other side of that door. The door is black, which is a deep contrast from the sky in the background. Also kind of like a shadow, and when you see like the color black on like maybe like a screen or something, it kind of like moves with you. You can kind of like imagine what's going in there. It also kind of acts like a mirror in some way. It wouldn't be too soon to say that this door could be on the album cover. Album speculation. Like I said, I believe the door will play a great role in what this album will look like. Themes of this album may include topics that would be hard to talk about in public, like self-destructive behaviors, grief, loss of innocence, etc. We don't know what this album will sound like, but I bet there'll be some heavy hitters like Dethroned. I don't know how they could top a song like that. Considering that the lead single was announced in August, roughly it was at least 6 months before the album was released. That will mean quarter one release, or maybe quarter two. I recall an interview where Noah said that the album isn't finished, so we won't know until we know. My guess is spring of 2026. From the second half of November up until the middle of December, they'll be touring Europe, so maybe an album announcement around there or after. Gotta let the songs marinate in the set list. This is purely speculation. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have more in the making. I don't know what this album will be like, but I've said this in the comments before. This album will make us cry and dance. Please support me by buying my books, Kaleidoscope and Death Throes via Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Every purchase counts. I also have a lot of used books that I've read on Pango Books. I have affiliate links that support me as well. You can commission art from me. Everything that supports me will be in my link tree down below. I hope you all stay safe and hydrate.